Hello everyone, and welcome to Fresh Master Channel. Today, we are going to have some story from Reddit. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment down below. These simple clips mean a lot to the future of this channel.
I'd run this moment in my head 100 times. What I'd say, how I'd say it, watching sunsets, muttering lines to myself. Now that it was real, nothing, brain empty. James stood there, fists clenched, jaw tight, eyes full of hate. If I got up, I figured he'd swing, so I stayed seated. I felt bad for him, really bad. I'd already done enough damage. Him and his brothers had probably been through hell since I walked out. I said the only thing I could. "I'm not your dad." He blinked. "What? I know you're wondering why I left. Your mom, your brothers. The truth is, I'm not your father." He just froze. Anger faded into confusion. His hands dropped. You could see it hit him, like pieces finally fitting together. I stood, slow, motioned for him to sit. He did. I waved Vivian over. "2 beers." This wasn't how I pictured sharing a drink with my son. How's that even possible?" he asked. I looked him in the eye. "Let me start from the top. First day of high school, science lab, your mom walks in late, new girl from Oklahoma. The only empty seat was next to me. She took it. Back then, nobody sat near me. I was the nerdy kid, invisible. But she didn't know that. She just sat down. I smiled a little. She was stunning, blonde, tall, lean, had that glow. She smiled at me, and boom, I was done. Science was rough. Mr. Rothenberg was a beast. She needed help. I gave it. We studied in the library. Next thing I know, we're hanging out all the time. She passed with a B. We got close. By sophomore year, we had a rhythm. She helped me write. I helped her pass math. First kiss came after Zek's ed class. I was terrified. She wasn't. By junior year, we were official. Football games, dances, parties. Lost our pureness after homecoming. Backseat of my dad's car near the Little League field. I was clueless. She wasn't, but it was magic. James flinched. I skipped the details. Senior year, I got into MIT. She didn't want to stay behind, so she applied to Boston College. We both got in. Rented a small place, took out loans. We were broke but in love. My classes were hell. I studied like a maniac. She made friends, had fun. I thought it was fine. We came back every summer. It all felt solid. I graduated aero engineering. She got a degree in history. We moved back to Denver. Big party. That night, I proposed. She said yes. We got married in her mom's backyard. He nodded. He'd seen the photos, heard some of this before. Started work at Telluride Tech, low-level stuff at first. But I worked my way up. She got a job in medical billing, chill gig. She was planning the wedding, hanging out with friends. After a year or so, I got pulled into a meeting with my boss and 2 mystery guys, military types. They offered me a transfer, more money, no details. I said yes. Told Sandy it was a promotion. We celebrated. Monday, I got handed a top-secret file. Have blue. I was on a stealth aircraft project. Big deal, but classified. I worked longer hours. Sandy had more time on her hands. Her crew from work would go out for drinks. She joined sometimes. I wasn't worried. Maybe I should have been. 3 months in, she calls me. She's pregnant. I lose it, in a good way. Call my mom, my sister, tell the whole damn world. We stay up late that night, planning baby names and nursery colors. We paint the room, buy tiny clothes. Months go by. Then you show up. I was in the delivery room. I saw you come out. Man, I cried. Loud, healthy cry. You were perfect. James was still quiet. I took a sip of my beer and kept going. We were in that new house a year when Sandy started acting different. Subtle stuff. Like she never said our boys. Always my boys. Thought maybe she was just proud, you know? Didn't think much of it. I looked at him. But it stuck in my head. And then, the way she talked about me at parties or church stuff, she'd go, "He draws planes for a living." Like I was a damn cartoonist. I let it slide. I didn't want to make her look bad. Plus, I couldn't explain the job. It was top secret. James didn't say anything. Just gave me a tiny nod. I was leading a team building the next stealth jet. Air Force was breathing down our necks. War stuff in the Middle East was heating up. We delivered, though. Plane flew, made headlines. My bosses were thrilled, but it came with even more hours. I was barely home. I leaned back. Still made every game, though, every concert, every school thing. I coached when I could. Hell, I was dead tired all the time, but I was there. He looked at me like he finally believed that part. When Daniel started school, Sandy had more time on her hands. We didn't need the money, so she didn't go back to work, started volunteering, library, chest cancer fundraisers, all that stuff. She was good at it, made new friends, got real popular. I paused. On the outside, we looked great. Good job. 4 kids, nice house. Everyone saw a perfect family. But behind closed doors, something felt off. I looked at him again. You ever wonder why she signed all of you up for different stuff? James frowned. You mean like me in baseball, Caleb in football, Eric in volleyball, Daniel in music? Exactly, I nodded. It made no damn sense. 4 kids, 4 activities, no overlap. I thought she was just giving you all space to find your thing, but now I think she was trying to split us up, keep me spread thin, keep me away from you. He stared at the table. Daniel, though, I smiled. That boy had something in him. Music just poured out of him, I always joked. Postman must be a hell of a musician. James gave a half smile. And she never said anything? She'd just smile, never denied it, never laughed either, just that look. Then I went quiet for a second. And then it all fell apart. James looked up. I turned 40. Air Force sent me for a full physical, just routine. I hadn't seen a doctor in years, figured I was fine. Did the tests, blood work, treadmill, all of it. Then the doc checks me, down there, gets real quiet, says I need to see a specialist, fast. I gave him a hard look. When the system moves fast, you start to worry. He nodded slowly. Didn't tell your mom, didn't sleep that night. Next day, went in for more tests. CAT scan, blood work again. Doc seemed calmer afterward, told me to come into his office. I paused. He sat me down and said, we thought it was a tumor. It's not, looks like scar tissue. Then he asked if I'd ever had a major injury. I rubbed the back of my neck. Only one I could think of was that dirt bike crash when I was 14. Flipped over the bars, landed hard, spent a couple days in the hospital, got better, moved on. Then he looks me dead in the eye and says, is that what caused your sterility? James blinked. Wait, what? Exactly what I said, I replied. I told him, I'm not sterile, I have 4 sons. I took a long breath. He just said, I don't know anything about that. I'm just telling you what the tests say. I stared into my beer. I walked out. Didn't say another word. James swallowed hard. Next day, second opinion, same result. Day after that, another doc, same again. And then, he asked, voice tight. I needed proof, I said. So I took all 4 of you to the clinic, told your mom we were getting flu shots, but they were DNA tests. I looked him in the eye. You remember that day? James nodded, slow, eyes glassy. Yeah, I remember. 2 weeks later, the test results came in. Thought I'd already hit bottom. I shook my head. I was wrong. I swallowed hard. None of you were mine. Not one. And worse, each one had a different dad. James flinched. I was wrecked, I said. Didn't know how to breathe. I walked straight into the first bar I saw, sat down, stared at my glass like it had answers. I looked away. My mind went nuts. Questions, regret, rage. I thought back, looked for clues, some sign, something. Nothing. Whole marriage was fake. My life, fake. I drank till I couldn't stand. Got poured into a cab. Woke up the next day with a hangover that felt like a shotgun to the brain. I went to work, tried to act normal, couldn't focus. My team sent me home. James stayed quiet, didn't blink. That night, Sandy made spaghetti, poured Chianti, wore some tight blue dress, tried to play the perfect wife. You boys were at a game. She sat across from me like nothing happened, smiling, chatting like it was any other night. But I saw her, really saw her, and I didn't see my wife. I saw a stranger, a liar, something cold, ugly. I got up, ran to the bathroom. I paused. Threw up dinner, then lunch. Then the last 10 years of my life kept going till there was blood in the bowl. James looked down. She asked if she should call a doc. I said, no, just leave me the hell alone. She actually looked worried then, led me to the guest bed. I cried the whole damn night. It was still dark when I woke up. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew I couldn't stay. I drove to Denny's, 8 eggs, first meal I kept down in days. Then I drove to the park, watched the sun come up, blood red sky. You know what they say? Red sky in the morning? Sailors take warning, James said softly. I gave a small nod, drove to work, walked in, told my boss I was done. He tried to stop me. I stared at the wall. I said, nothing's wrong. And I walked out. Next stop, the bank. Took out half my 401k, about 80 grand. I looked him dead in the eye, went home. Place was empty. Walked through the house and felt nothing, like I'd never lived there. I grabbed a pen, left a note on the table. James asked, "What did it say?" "Just 3 words." "I know." "Dad." Silence. Got in my truck, drove off, no plan, no goodbye. I passed a hawk flying east, so I went east. I didn't think about you boys. Not at first, just pain, just getting away. I drove till I hit the Atlantic, somewhere in Maine, slept in my truck, paid cash, burned what cards I had, felt like a ghost. I glanced at him. One day I walked into the ocean, stripped down, folded my clothes, waded out. He stiffened. I wanted it to end quiet, easy, no mess. But I couldn't do it. I didn't even have the guts to drown. Ended up living out of my truck, got motel rooms when I stank too much, worked odd jobs, washed dishes in Annapolis, fried food in Georgia, drove the Disney tram for a bit, wound up in Atlanta at a brake shop, place called Al's, greasy guy, big gut, cigar never lit. 2 weeks in, I walk in one morning. Al meets me at the door. I did his voice. "There's a couple suits here for you." 2 agents, clean suits, no names. I knew the look, feds. Thought they came to drag me back. I almost ran. But one of them said, "Took us a while to find you. Don't make us do it again. Sit down." So I sat. They asked why I left. What happened? I said, me and my wife had a fight. Couldn't live with her anymore. James let out a sharp breath. They pushed, but not too hard. Finally, the tall one says, "We'll tell Washington you're alive." I asked, "You gonna tell my wife?" He shook his head. "She's not our problem." I think they knew everything. They reminded me about my NDAs, threw some light threats, told me to keep my mouth shut. They left. Short one stopped at the door, looked back, said, "I get it, I'm sorry." That was the only time anyone said that. Al kept me around for a week, then I left. I always figured the feds checked in now and then, just to make sure I was still quiet. After that, I drifted west, New Orleans, Houston, Phoenix, coast to coast. I cried a lot, thought about you boys, wondered what I missed, but I couldn't come back, not with what I knew. By the 2nd year, I was just tired, numb. James leaned forward, quiet. That's when stuff clicked. I remembered names. Sandy had coworkers named James. Caleb, a guy named Daniel, played guitar. Sandy always talked about him. Said he was in a band. I looked hard at him. And that's when it hit me. They weren't just names she liked. They were names of the men she screwed. Men who fathered you. James wiped his eyes. I don't know if she did it on purpose. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe she was proud. But she knew. I rubbed my face. I hit bottom on the West Coast. But something weird happened. I started watching sunsets. One night I sat on a bluff, watched the sky bleed orange over the ocean, and I felt calm. I kept doing that. Every night, different spot, same sun. It helped, just a little. Then one day I was in Seattle working tables at a family diner. 2 nerds walked in, busted out a plane drawing, executive jet. I served them water, took one look and said, "The intakes are wrong." James blinked. I smirked. They thought I was nuts. I made a sketch on a napkin, showed them how to fix it, told them it'd boost engine power. About 23%. They left me a fat tip. Next day, guy in a suit walks in, same sketch, with my changes added. He asks, "You do this?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Can we talk?" I said, "Order lunch first." James cracked a smile through the tears. Guy's name was Brad. Said they were building that jet. My fix made it better. He wanted me on board. I thought about it, long and hard. A week later, I said yes. We flew to San Diego, signed contracts, drew up patents. I became a partner, started building again. The feds showed up once, checked my papers, gave me looks, but I was clean. And the money, it came fast. Airbus, Boeing, started licensing my designs. Checks came monthly. I bought a beach house, sat on the porch, watched the sunset every night. Kept quiet, kept working. I looked at James. And for 5 years, I ain't told this to anyone, not a soul. He stared at me, voice low. Why tell me now? I leaned forward. Because you showed up. And I've been alone too damn long. I looked at James. His face was wrecked, like a man twice his age. Bar was dead quiet, just a few folks left. Vivian caught my eye, then looked away quick. Her eyes were red too. I kept my voice low. So, what now? James barely whispered. I don't know. Tears ran down his face. Your mom or brothers know you found me? He shook his head. No, nobody even knows I was looking. What are you going to tell them? I don't know. Gotta think. There's a lookout a half-mile west, I said. Good place to sit, watch the waves, think stuff through. You got somewhere to sleep? He nodded. Yeah, I'm good. He stood, looked bad, like the truth had taken the fight out of him. I didn't move, didn't know if I should hug him, shake his hand, or just let him go. He didn't wait. He walked up, grabbed my shoulders, pulled me in. We hugged, tight. His tears hit my neck. Mine hit his shirt. Sandy was a ghost now, a wound that never healed. But you boys, you were never fake. You were mine, blood or not, and I left you. Walked out when you needed me most. I still cry over that. Still carry it, might always. James pulled back a little, voice low. Can we talk tomorrow? I'll be here, I said. He nodded, turned, and walked out. I dropped back in my chair. Heart felt like a stone. Whole past just crashed into my now, and I had no clue what the hell to do with it. Vivian walked over, slid into the seat next to me, set down 2 cold beers, took a long pull from one. We didn't speak for a while. Then she said, quiet but clear, I saw him come in. Kid had storm clouds on his face. Thought maybe I'd have to break up a fight. She glanced at me. I stayed close, just in case. Didn't mean to eavesdrop. She paused. I heard it all. She reached over, hugged me, real soft, voice shaking. I'm sorry. I stared at the table. What the hell do I do now? You're not my son. That line wouldn't stop playing in my head. Over and over. The way he said it, the look in his eyes. I think he said more, but I didn't really hear it. That one line hit like a hammer. I wasn't made from love, that's what I kept thinking. Then what? A lie? A mess? I stumbled out of the restaurant, barely holding it together. Got back to my hotel in Pacific Beach, shut the door, and sat on the bed. Nothing made sense. I wanted my family back, but I knew I couldn't fix this. Still, I had to keep going. I had to stay solid for my brothers. I'd been the man of the house for 5 years now. No way I could fall apart. That night, I laid in bed, staring at the ceiling. My brain ran through every memory. Little League, family dinners, him sitting next to me, helping with math, holding my head when I was sick. All good memories, not one bad. Grief had me in a chokehold till sleep took over. Next morning, cold air hit me when I opened the door. I didn't sleep well, didn't feel any better, but I knew what I had to do. Threw on a t-shirt, shorts, shoes, and started walking to his place. It wasn't far, but damn, it felt like miles. I got there at 8 o'clock, rang the bell. He opened it fast, like he'd been waiting. He looked at me, hopeful, scared. You want to come in? He asked. I shook my head. Nah. I heard what you said yesterday, I told him. But I've got questions. I need time to sort it all out. He just nodded. Quiet. I'm heading back today, I added. I'll figure things out on my own. What about your brothers? He asked. What are you going to tell your mom? I don't know yet. I looked at him hard. You raised me. I don't care who made me. You're my dad. He looked like he was about to fall apart. I kept going. I don't know who the bio guy is, but he ain't my father. You are. Always were. We both teared up. I stepped in and hugged him. Daddy, I said under my breath. He held me tight like back when I was small. I could feel him shake from crying. You think we can come back? I asked. I don't know how my brothers feel, but I want this. I want you. He stepped back, wiped his face. I want that too, he said. More than anything. But I don't know how. I can't face your mom. That wound, it's too deep. I don't know if I'll survive that again. We ended up in the kitchen. He made coffee. We sat at the table. Ocean waves crashed outside. Seagulls hovered nearby. Dad, I said, you gave us everything. I know Mom hurt you. She hurt all of us. But she's still Mom. Since you left, a lot's changed. He nodded, eyes dark with regret. I still don't get how she did that. But I get what you told me. And I want you to hear this. You're my dad. You were there when it counted. And yeah, this is messy. But we'll figure it out. His shoulders dropped, like something let go inside him. He looked taller, more sure. He got up and hugged me again. Thank you, he said. Please forgive me. I'll do whatever it takes. I want to fix things for all of you. He held me like he used to, then looked me in the eye. I'll give you guys everything. Whatever I have left, it's yours. So will I said. We hugged one more time. Then Then I left. The drive back to Colorado took 16 hours. I split it into 2 days, crashed near St. George, Utah. As I drove, old memories rolled in. As a kid, I never really knew what Dad did. He left early, came back late. But bills were paid, food was in the fridge. We were never rich, but we were fine. I had an allowance, enough for sodas and games. Watching my brothers got me bonus cash. I'd hear stuff about planes, military stuff. But nobody said much. Sometimes men in uniform came over. Me and my brothers joked he was a spy, stealing secrets from Russians. He was our hero. And even with that secret agent life, he still played catch with us. Then came the day he left. I was 16, came home early, dropped my bag, hit the fridge. Mom always bitched about drinking from the carton, but no one was home. There was a note on the table. It said, "I know, that's it." I thought I wrote it or it was for someone else, whatever. I turned on the TV. Simpsons reruns. Later, I went upstairs to do some homework. Caleb and Daniel came home, ran straight to the yard. Eric was probably still at a buddy's. Then I heard it, a scream. Not just a cry, something raw, like an animal getting torn open. I ran downstairs. Mom was on the floor holding the note to her chest, shaking, broken. Caleb and Daniel didn't hear, too far out back. I helped her up, took her upstairs, sat with her while she cried. She clung to me. She didn't say much. I don't even remember any words, just the sound of pain. After a while, she quieted. I laid her on the bed. She grabbed Dad's pillow and held it like it could bring him back. I backed out and shut the door. Downstairs, the boys were at the table. "Where's Mom?" Caleb asked. "Upstairs, she's sick," I said. "What's for dinner?" he asked, like nothing was wrong. "I don't know, let's wait for Dad. He'll figure it out." "Yeah," Daniel said. "He always does." We waited. After a while, they fired up the Xbox. Trash talk filled the house like always. But something in me said, nothing's going to be the same again. I went back upstairs. Mom was still wrapped around Dad's pillow. The room was dim, just the table lamp glowing. "Mom?" I said, real soft. No answer. "Mom?" She moved, eyes swollen and red. "When's Dad coming home to make dinner?" I asked. Her face crumpled. "He had to go away for a bit," she said, voice shaky. "Can you be the man of the house tonight? Make some mac and cheese for your brothers?" "Yeah, what about you? You coming down?" She shook her head. "I don't think so. Can you handle it?" I got it. I'd made it before. Boiled the noodles, stirred the cheese, called the boys to eat. Dinner was mostly jokes and Xbox talk, school fights, basketball game next week. No one really said much about Mom or Dad. Afterward, Caleb did the dishes. I went back up. She was still in bed, holding that same damn pillow. Barely moved when I walked in. Next morning, we got ourselves up, dressed, poured cereal, headed to school. Nothing too weird. Mom sometimes slept in. But when I got back that afternoon, dropped my bag, grabbed milk from the fridge, something felt off. My brothers came home loud as always, laughing, fighting. I went upstairs. She still hadn't moved. "Mom, you okay?" I asked. Without turning, she whispered, "Order pizza for you and your brothers. There's cash in my purse." I went around the bed, grabbed her wallet, looked at her. She looked rough, hair greasy, same clothes, face pale, eyes dead. She looked gone. I got scared. Dad usually called, even when he was away. Nothing this time. I called his cell, straight to voicemail. Left a message. No call back. I panicked a little. What if something happened? Was that why she was like this? I didn't tell the boys. Couldn't. Just cried into my pillow that night. Next morning, I checked on her again. "I'm okay, baby," she said. "Get your brothers ready for school. We'll talk tonight." That talk haunted me all day. Couldn't focus in class. Just kept waiting for the final bell. When I got home, Aunt Lauren was there, cleaning, doing dishes, not good. We called her Aunt, but she wasn't family. Just close with Mom. Used to work together, I think. Seeing her there? Bad sign. I went to my room. Mom's door was shut. I sat on my bed, quiet. Sometimes a tear would roll and I wouldn't even feel it. The boys came home straight to the Xbox like nothing was wrong. I wondered, how could they not feel this? Lauren made dinner, called Eric to set the table, then us. We sat down. Mom came down too. She tried, clean shirt, maybe brushed her hair, but she looked hollow. Sat in her usual spot, no plate for Dad, and just like that, everything went still. No jokes, no teasing, no dumb fights. We all knew. I kept glancing at her. She moved food around, but didn't eat. Kept dabbing her eyes. Then she spoke. "Boys." We froze. Lauren reached over, grabbed her hand. "I did something awful," Mom said. Your dad? He's hurt. He left me. Silence. I don't know when he's coming back. Maybe never. But he loves you. He didn't leave because of you. She looked at each of us. When her eyes hit mine, we both cried. At the end of the table, I heard someone sob. Caleb, maybe, or Eric. Things are going to be different, she said. But we're still a family. We'll respect his choice. We won't talk bad about him. This is my fault, not his, not yours. Lauren squeezed her hand. You've all been good boys. He's proud of you. Then she got up and left the room. No one touched the food. One by one, my brothers left the table. I sat there, couldn't move. Lauren stood, started clearing plates. I helped her, like always. She looked over at me. James, she said, you're the oldest. Your brothers are going to need you now. She looked me dead in the eyes. Your mom, too. She's going to carry this a long time. You got to be there. When she breaks down, you hold her. You remind her she's still loved. You remind her she's still needed. She paused. Can you do that? I nodded, didn't trust myself to talk. But in my head, I was screaming, who's going to help me? Tears came again. I went upstairs. That dinner? That was the start of everything falling apart. Before that night, Mom still volunteered at the cancer center. A week later, she got a paid job. I won't make much, she said. We'll have to watch money. And just like that, the extras vanished. No more games, no more dinners out, not even chips in the pantry. My brothers griped about it more than me. That's when I knew I had to step up. I quit after-school sports, got a job at Denny's, talked Mom into signing a work permit, bussed tables, filled coffee, cleaned messes, 20 hours a week, minimum wage. But I got tips, split it with my brothers, $30 each. It helped. But it wasn't just money. We all felt the guilt. Each of us thought we did something to make Dad leave. If I hadn't failed that math test, if I caught that ball in the game, if I told him I loved him more. All of us carried that. Caleb locked in on school, straight A's from then on. If he ever comes back, he told me once, I want him to be proud. Eric turned to sports, trained harder, played every season. He was all conference, almost all American, but he never dated, never had time. It was all for Dad. Daniel took it another way. At first, Daniel wouldn't stop playing his guitar, locked in his room, strumming radio songs on repeat, and he was good. But when he turned 13, things changed. He started hanging out with some rough kids. By 14, I was pretty sure he was smoking dope. Came home red-eyed, stumbling, smelling like smoke. I tried to talk. You don't own me, he snapped one night. You ain't my dad. He meant it, and it stung. I didn't know what to say. I felt useless. By then, I was working full-time, 40 hours, now a waiter, decent cash, still splitting it with my brothers. And Mom? She was slipping. Every month, she faded more. About 6 months after that dinner, she stopped pretending. She knew Dad wasn't coming back. She worked all the time. 50, 60 hours. Came home, made dinner, disappeared into her room. The strong, glowing woman I called Mom was wasting away. I couldn't stop it. Aunt Lauren dropped by once a month, said hi, told jokes, tried to lift the mood. She was the only person who ever came over. Then the blame hit. Mom owned up to it being her fault, but we all dealt different. Caleb and Eric started blaming Dad. He bailed. He could have forgiven her. He left us. You could see it in their faces. They were pissed. Daniel flipped the other way, took Mom's blame and ran with it. He hated her for it. They fought bad. I had to break it up more than once. Me, I was stuck in the middle. I knew she messed up, but Dad's silence felt like its own kind of betrayal. He just gave up on us. By 19, I started trying to find him. I asked Mom once if she'd looked. She teared up. I tried, found nothing. I believed her, so I hit Google, found old stuff. His degrees, articles from some engineer mags, no phone, no address, dead ends. Then late summer, I found something. A San Diego half marathon, his name, his age, said he lived in La Jolla. He used to run 10Ks, I remembered. The race had pics. One shot in the crowd, I saw him. Blurry, but I knew it was him. That night, I packed the car and left. Made it to St. George before crashing at a cheap motel. Grabbed a burger, in bed by 9, but I just stared at the ceiling till after 1. I kept thinking, what if I find him? What do I say? And worse, what if I tell my brothers the truth about Mom? They'd flip. It could break her. But I was the oldest. This was mine to carry. By 7, I was back on the road, heading for San Diego, gas tank full, heart heavy. As I drove, I kept hearing Dad's voice in my head. How hurt he sounded. I got it now. I knew what betrayal felt like. See, a few months back, This girl got hired at the restaurant, Vanessa Brown. She was fine, curves, smile, bubbly as hell. Guys stared when she walked in, but for some reason, she liked me. I was busy with work and school, didn't have time for much. But one night after a shift, we were talking, trash-talking rude customers, guessing tips, and I just blurted it out. "Want to grab a coffee?" She smiled. "Sure." We hit Starbucks. I got a black coffee. She ordered some fancy venti thing. $8 later, we sat and talked for hours. It was easy, fun. She laughed at my dumb jokes. After I drove her back to the lot. Before she got out, she kissed my cheek. "I had fun," she said. "Let's do it again." So we did. Coffee turned to dinner, talking turned to flirting. 3 weeks in, she looked at me and said, "I'm off Friday. Think you are too." I knew what that meant. "Want to go out Friday night?" I asked. She grinned. "I'd love to." Things moved quick. After a month or two, she invited me over. Roommate was gone for the weekend. That night, we hooked up. My first time. After, we just laid there, her breath on my neck. I wondered if I was her first too. We kept dating. 5 months in, I gave her a promise ring. She jumped on me, kissed me like crazy. I was happy. But around 8 months, stuff shifted. I got called in for a double. Another girl had an emergency. I told Vanessa I couldn't see her. She said it was cool. 2 hours in, the girl showed up. Problem solved. She wanted the shift back. I said sure, changed, and figured I'd surprise Vanessa. She lived on the second floor. As I climbed up, I passed her window. Curtains were cracked open. I looked. She was on the couch, kissing Simon Joyner, the morning manager at work. I froze, knocked on the door. She opened it, face pale. "I didn't think," she started. I cut her off. "Calm. I was supposed to be at work. I'm not. Looks like you had other plans. That's fine." I reached for her hand. "But I want my ring back. Don't want you jerking off Simon with a hand wearing my ring." I slid it off her finger. "It's been real. If we pass on the street, don't look at me. I won't look at you." Then I left. Went home, straight to bed, didn't sleep. Next morning, I packed and drove to San Diego. Maybe I was just like Dad, running from pain instead of facing it. I got back a few days later, around 6, just in time for dinner. Mom called us to the table. Same jokes, same noise. Eric looked up. "How was San Diego?" I lied. Talked about the zoo, SeaWorld, said the schools were great. Daniel looked stoned. Caleb just shrugged. Mom didn't seem to notice. Then she asked, "How's Vanessa?" I paused, then told her the truth. When I got to the part about the ring, she lost it. Ran from the table, crying. Eric muttered, "Smooth move, man." They went back to messing around. I just sat there, staring at my food. What was I supposed to say? How do you break your mom the way Vanessa broke me? Yeah, both cheated, but Mom's hit harder. She had kids by other guys. I was holding a nuke, and I had to be smart about using it. But life didn't stop. Caleb started at the local college. He had offers, but didn't want to leave us. Eric was about to graduate, looking at schools. That's when I had an idea. Next day after school, I pulled them aside. "Ever think about San Diego State?" I asked. "Caleb, you could transfer in. Eric, start as a freshman. You could even share a dorm." They looked unsure. "San Diego's far," Caleb said. "From Mom, from Daniel, from you. We'll manage," I told them. Eric was into it fast. Caleb dragged his feet. We showed him maps, apps, info. But the more we pushed, the more he pulled back. Then Friday, it all blew up. We were in Eric's room working on apps when Caleb snapped. "Why are you pushing this so hard?" he asked. "Why not Colorado? We'd still be close." I tried to stay calm. "San Diego's just better." "Cut the crap," he said. "What's really going on?" I looked at them both. "Dad's there," I said. Silence. Eric blinked. "Wait, Dad? In San Diego?" "You talked to him?" Caleb asked. The questions poured in. Where is he? Why'd he leave? What did he say? I raised my hands. Found some stuff online. After Vanessa, I hit the road. I found him. We talked. He misses us. They were quiet, shaken. I've kept in touch. Told him you guys might apply out there. He wants to help. I added, Mom can't know. She broke him. He's still not okay. What happened between them? Eric asked. Let him tell you. Caleb stood. We're going. Winter break. Break was 3 weeks out. They started planning, said it was for college, but we all knew what it was really about. Mom said yes to the trip. I think she knew it meant more than school. I backed her up, even if it hurt. Daniel, that was a different story. I could see him slipping. Grades, mood, the works. I had a bad feeling dope wasn't the only thing now. The vibe at home shifted. Caleb and Eric were hyped. Campus maps, plans, dorm talk. I emailed Dad. He was buzzing too. We talked about how he'd handle it. Still hadn't figured it out. Mom, to her credit, supported the trip. Saturday morning, we packed the car. "Be safe," she said, then turned and went inside. Daniel and I hugged them. I pulled them close. "Go easy. You don't know what's up ahead. Take it slow." They nodded. Understood more than they said. They called every few hours. I tracked them on the map. Around 12:30, we got the call. "We're here," Caleb said. "Just checked in." "Good," we said. "Call in the morning." But Mom didn't know the truth. They weren't at a hotel. They were staying with Dad. I had a feeling that night was heavy. The next 3 days, they sounded high on life. San Diego was great. The school perfect. Weather perfect. They met someone who could help with apps, but I didn't get a private word with them, so I didn't know what Dad told them. They got home Friday at 5. We were waiting outside. Smiles. Big ones. They jumped out, ran straight to me. "James!" they shouted, hugged me like they were never letting go. "We applied," Caleb said. They hugged Daniel, then Mom. I noticed her hugs were shorter, stiffer. Something was said. She felt it. We ordered pizza and ate together. They talked non-stop about the trip, loved the campus, said they'd figure out the money. Later, Mom went to her room. Daniel vanished too. It left just us. We finally talked. "He was so happy to see us," Caleb said. "And we were happy too." "What did he tell you?" I asked. Caleb looked down. "Everything. He told us everything on the drive home. And we're not telling Mom," Eric said. "No point in crushing her more." They said they moved to San Diego after graduation, and they meant it. In the next few months, they stayed locked in. Caleb nailed his finals. Eric got MVP in 2 sports. They were focused. But Daniel, he kept slipping. Harder pills, I was sure of it. I tried to talk to him. It blew up. I sat down with Mom. She knew. She'd tried to help. Daniel wasn't having it. Losing his brothers, on top of everything else, was breaking her. She dropped weight. Her hair lost shine. She looked tired all the time. Then right after Christmas, Daniel vanished. 3 days later, cops found him in a pill house. High, barely there. We checked him into rehab, 2 weeks. He fought at every step. During one family session, he snapped. "You drove him away!" He yelled at Mom. "This is on you!" Mom broke down, crying hard. I tried to calm him. He wasn't done. "You pushed Caleb and Eric away too. You wrecked us." Mom wiped her eyes. "You're right," she said. "This is my fault. I broke it. I've tried to fix it. You can hate me, but don't hate yourself, please. Don't throw yourself away too. Not for me." That ended the session. She could barely walk after. I helped her to the car. She looked wrecked, empty. 2 days after Eric's last final, they packed up and left. Tears, hugs, promises. They called from San Diego, said they were settled into a small apartment. School started in 7 weeks. They were stoked. I booked a trip for August. Couldn't wait to see them, to see Dad. Took an early flight. They were all at the airport. Dad, Caleb, Eric, waiting for me. The reunion was unreal. Big hugs, big laughs. We went for lunch. Talked like things were finally okay. For the first time in years, I felt peace. Then Thursday, the call came. Mom's voice was shaking. "James, it's Daniel. He overdosed. Can you come home now?" 3 hours later, I was on a flight home. What I didn't know, Dad was too, flying back at the same time. I landed, rushed straight to the hospital. Found Mom in the ICU, sitting beside Daniel's bed. She held his hand, eyes swollen from crying. "I tried, James," she sobbed. "I really did." "I know, Mom," I said, hugging her. "We all did." "You stay," I told her. "I got this. Go home, sleep." She didn't want to go, but I pushed. She left and promised to be back at first light. A few hours later, Dad walked in. He looked wrecked. "I've been gone too long," he said. "This is on me. I need to fix it." I looked at him. "How?" "I thought about it on the plane. We moved Daniel. Get him out of here. Somewhere real, near his brothers, San Diego. A real clinic. He needs help, and maybe being near them, near me, can help." We talked it through. He said he could get the company jet. Daniel would fly with a nurse. Rehab center in San Diego. Family therapy after. Being away from Mom might help him reset. Dad stayed that night with me and Daniel, left before sunrise. Still wasn't ready to face her. When Mom got back, I told her the plan, all of it. She surprised me. "I think it could help," she said. "He's angry. Maybe space is what he needs." Behind the scenes, Dad got it all lined up. Monday morning, an ambulance would bring Daniel to a private airfield. He'd fly out, nurse on board. Once settled, the doctors would decide when and how to bring Dad into it. It felt right. That Sunday night, Mom and I came home and found Aunt Lauren waiting. Hot coffee. 3 mugs on the table. We sat, talked about next steps. Then Mom turned to me. "James," she said, "you should go with him." "What?" I blinked. "He needs you," she said. "You've been his father these last 5 years. He still needs that." I looked at Lauren. She nodded. I felt trapped. I rattled off reasons I couldn't: school, work, bills. They shut it all down. "I'll be okay," Mom said. "Lauren's nearby, but Daniel, he needs you." That was that. Next morning, they pretty much shoved me onto that plane. Jet had room. I sat beside Daniel the whole flight. He was quiet. My being there helped. Mom made the right call. Daniel checked into rehab without a fight this time. 27-day program. Caleb, Eric, and I visited often. I sat in meetings, talked with doctors. Slowly, he started to shift. His head got clearer. He was seeing things again, feeling stuff. Second week in, we brought Dad into the mix. Family therapy started. Once a week, all 4 of us brothers sat with a shrink. We unpacked it all: the pain, the mess, the years of silence. Then came the day we brought Dad in to see Daniel. Therapist started the session with questions about him. Let Daniel talk first. "I miss my dad," he said, voice shaking. "I hated not having him. I needed him." We were all crying. Therapist asked, "If you could say anything to him, what would it be?" Daniel didn't pause. "I'd tell him I miss him. I forgive him for leaving. I want him back. I want him to forgive me and Mom, all of us." Then the door opened. Dad walked in. Daniel looked up. First he was blank. Then came the look, and then the tears. He stood, legs gave out, and dropped to his knees, sobbing. Dad rushed in, dropped with him, held him close, like when we were little. Caleb, Eric, and I joined them, all of us holding each other, crying. No one said a word. That day changed something. Daniel was different after that, softer, brighter, alive. Therapy kept going. We were finally working through it. But one thing stayed untouched. Mom, Dad never brought her up. I didn't know what she really felt. Could we bring her into this? Could we even tell her we'd found Dad? I kept her in the loop on Daniel, his progress, his mood, but I never mentioned Dad. She sounded happy, but there was something in her voice. Like she knew, but didn't ask. After 2 months, I thought maybe I should visit her. "I think I'll come home for a few days," I told her. She paused. "That's kind, but Daniel needs you more?" Her voice was calm, solid. I let it go, but still made plans to visit soon. A week later, we were having dinner at Dad's place. My phone rang, thought it was Mom. It wasn't. Aurora area code, not her number. Aunt Lauren. Her voice shook. "James, your mom's gone." Her words hit like ice. My skin went cold. Everything froze. We flew back. Private jet, landed in Denver around 1 a.m. Aunt Lauren was waiting. Hugs, tears, quiet. Dad booked a hotel. We begged him to stay with us. He couldn't. Said he wasn't ready. The funeral was small. Cold day, sky gray, pines all around the grave. Mom would have liked it. The 4 of us stood shoulder to shoulder, silent, lost. Only one of Mom's brothers showed. Few coworkers, fewer friends. Since Dad left, she hadn't made many. I planned the service, but really she did. Left everything. Music, plot, flowers. She knew. After it ended, Aunt Lauren pulled me aside. "James," she whispered, "your mom left you these 2 envelopes. She made me promise not to tell anyone she was sick. Call me after." I nodded, took the letters, tucked them into my coat. None of us knew she had cancer. Looking back, she'd looked worse. I thought it was stress, or Daniel, or heartbreak. I should have seen it. I barely remember the rest, just the look on my brothers' faces when I told them. "That was Lauren," I said. "Mom's dead. She had cancer." Daniel's knees gave out. "No! No way! She can't be!" Tears poured out. Dad grabbed him, held him. Caleb and Eric joined in. So did I. All of us, wrapped in grief. Dinner was forgotten. We sat on the deck, staring at the ocean, not talking. I finally asked, "Dad, what now?" He looked at us, voice firm. "We go back to Colorado." He pulled out his phone, called for the jet. 3 hours later, we were in the air, headed home. The next few days were a blur, calls, forms, last-minute stuff. The service had already happened. No big gathering, just Aunt Lauren, Dad, and us 4. That night, Lauren made a simple dinner. We barely said a word while we ate. Afterward, We all ended up in the living room, just sitting there. No one really talked. Then Lauren broke the silence. She asked stuff, soft, slow, easy, little things to pull us into memories. She started with me, then the others joined in. She knew what she was doing, calm, patient, careful. She kept us steady, steered us through the mess with questions about the good days, the small moments, the kind that still made us smile. Dad didn't say much, sat off to the side. Lauren gave him a few looks, hoping he'd speak, but he stayed quiet. Still, she kept us talking. And for a while, the grief had room to breathe. By the time we wrapped up, we were still hurting, but lighter somehow, like something inside cracked open. Lauren stood, grabbed her coat. "I'll be back in the morning," she said. Dad got up too, muttered something about the hotel, and left. I went to my room. As I took off my jacket, I felt something shift in the pocket. The letters, 2 white envelopes, my name on both in Mom's writing. One had a line across the front. "Open me first." I sat on the bed, took a breath. My throat felt tight. I opened the first one. The same writing that used to leave notes in my lunchbox now felt heavier than anything I'd ever held. And I started to read.
James, if you're reading this, it means the cancer won. They say truth brings peace. I don't think I get peace, not after all I've done. I know where I'm going, and I know I've earned it. You and your brothers have had questions for years. Some I never answered. I owe you that now. I'm not asking for you to forgive me, just try to understand. I kept the truth to protect you. That's what I told myself. But really, I was scared. I held on to the secret that broke our family, and now it's yours. You've carried so much already, James. I hope this truth takes some of that off your back. We had a full life. Even in the last 5 years, I had moments of real joy because of you boys, more than I deserved. What hurts the most is knowing a lot of it was built on lies. But your memories? They're still real. Don't let my truth erase them. You did fall out of that pine tree. Your dad did panic and try to tape your arm before rushing to the ER. That was real. That was love. Keep those memories close. They're yours. They matter. Your brothers see you as their rock. I hope that never changes. You were the strong one. You helped me stay standing, even when I was falling apart. James, my son, my heart, I'm sorry. Please, if you can, forgive me. You were told your dad and I met on the first day of high school in Colorado. That part's true. But my story starts 2 years before that, in Stillwater, Oklahoma. I was born there. So were my 2 brothers. We had a good life. Dad worked insurance. Mom stayed home. We didn't go without. You've met my brothers once or twice. We had a big family. Tons of cousins, aunts, uncles. Parties were wild. Sometimes 100 people packed in. My dad's closest sibling was his brother, Jack. Uncle Jack had 3 sons. We were all close. I saw them like brothers. They looked out for me. I was the youngest and a bit of a tomboy, climbing trees, getting dirty, keeping up with the boys. Then I turned 14. We were climbing the big oak tree outside the library. I slipped maybe 20 feet up. A branch broke. I bounced off others and hit the ground hard, blacked out. Jack was the adult with us. He carried me home, laid me in bed, gave me ice. Then he undressed me. I told him no. I knew it was wrong. I was just a kid, but I knew. He said he had to check for bruises, said he was in charge, told me to stay still. I cried. He didn't stop. He hurt me in the worst way. After he said it was my fault, said I shouldn't have climbed the tree, said if I told anyone, they'd blame me. I cried myself to sleep every night that week. My folks thought it was from the fall. The bruises matched. Nobody guessed, but it didn't stop. He kept finding ways to get me alone, once a month, for almost a year. I tried to stay away from my cousins. My parents didn't get it. They thought I was being moody. They forced me to hang out. Then one day my dad came home early. He found Jack in my room, on top of me. What I saw in my dad's face, pure rage. He pulled Jack off me and kicked him badly. I remember the chaos, shouting, sirens, and blood on my clothes. Police came. So did an ambulance. They talked to all of us. Then the family split. Dad's parents begged him to let it go. Forgive Jack. Don't ruin the family. But my dad didn't bend. He gave them a choice. Back us and send Jack to jail or cut us off for good. They tried to talk him down. He said no. Jack went to prison. And we moved to Colorado. Dad never spoke to his family again. But I didn't heal. I felt like I broke everything. Like it was all my fault. I believed no guy would ever want someone like me. Then I met your dad. I was scared of boys. I was in therapy. It helped a little, but the fear never left. Your dad was different. He never rushed me, never pushed. We became study partners. He was great at math. I was better at English. We helped each other. We got close. I fell for him, hard. He asked me to homecoming. I knew what that might mean. I wanted to be close to him. But I was scared. No one had touched me since Jack. I couldn't sleep the whole week before. But that night, your dad was gentle, kind. He held me, made me feel safe. That's when I knew. He was the one. When he got into MIT, I fell apart. The idea of being apart broke me. My parents helped calm me down, and our families figured out a way for me to go to Boston College. I followed him to Boston. That's when the cracks started. He was buried in work, always at the library. I was alone a lot. The old fear came back. I started hanging with kids who partied. I flirted too much just to keep people around. I never cheated, but I didn't tell him about it either. I should have. We moved back to Colorado after college, got married. Life felt good for a while. I had a job at an insurance company. He started his dream job. We had peace. But the old damage didn't go away. It hid, waited. Your dad's job got demanding again. He worked late. I was alone, again. I started going out after work with coworkers, drinks, a few laughs. One of them was James. He worked reinsurance, looked a bit like your dad. Worse, he reminded me of Jack, and I didn't see it at first. One night, everyone left the bar early. Storm was rolling in. I panicked, didn't want to be alone. James was still there. He smiled. I followed him home. He offered me a drink, then another. Then it happened, on his couch. I cried in the shower that night. Didn't say a word to your dad. Next day, James came to my desk. I tried to say it was a mistake. He grabbed my arm, pulled me into a supply closet. "Don't say that out loud," he said. "People will hear." He kissed me. I pulled back. He got rough. Suddenly I wasn't a woman anymore. I was that scared girl. He hurt me in the worst way. Then whispered, "You're mine now. You'll come when I call." And I did. Out of fear, out of shame, out of guilt. It happened for months. I hated myself more every time. Then I got pregnant. I prayed it was your dad's. I begged God to make it his. James backed off while I was pregnant. Showed up maybe twice. Then right before you were born, he found me again. He was mad. Told me to name you after him. "In my honor," he said. I cried. I begged, but I agreed. "James, I thought you were your dad's son. You looked like him. We both believed it. We loved you. From day one, you were my light. You saved me just by being born." After I went back to work, James came back too. The misuse started again. Then he brought his buddy, Caleb. They took turns. My life became hell all over again. I got pregnant a second time. I thought maybe that would make them back off. It didn't. Near the end of the pregnancy, James showed up at our house. He forced himself on me in your dad's bed. Then he said I had to name the baby Caleb. "For my friend," he said. "If you don't, I'll be back the day after he's born." So I gave in. Again. Your dad never had a clue. I asked myself every day, how could he not see it? The fear in my eyes? The pain? After a while, I started to blame him. It wasn't fair, but I did. I felt like he should have known, should have saved me. Even though I never told him anything, I felt alone. When Caleb was born, James got moved to the East Coast. I was so relieved, finally free. But I wasn't okay. His misuse changed everything. How I saw myself, the world, and your dad. I stopped seeing him as my protector. I stopped believing he ever was. And I didn't even see how twisted my thinking had become. Even with all that, I still tried to be a good mom. I gave you boys everything I had. But inside, I felt like I was failing. I worked part-time, kept the house going, but I felt lost. Your dad was busy chasing his career. I was drowning in loneliness. That's when Susan came into the picture. A coworker. She pushed me to go out, have fun again. I didn't think much of it at first. But her group, they were close. Too close. Before I knew it, I was caught in it. We'd party every week. She'd always end the night with one of the guys. After a while, so did I. I don't remember their names. Then I got pregnant again. I stopped partying right away. 9 months later, Eric was born. At the time, I still believed he was your dad's. You all looked so much like him. Same smile, same eyes, same dark hair. Your dad wanted to name Eric after his own father, but I'd lost all respect for him by then. I said no, named him myself. After that, I slipped again, went back to Susan's group, chased noise to drown the silence. It didn't take long before I got pregnant again. Your dad was thrilled. He wanted a daughter. But when Daniel was born, I knew. He was different. He looked different, moved different, felt different. I prayed your dad wouldn't notice. We decided I should get my tubes tied. 4 kids. He was happy. I was scared. Afraid of bringing more lies into our lives. I quit working, focused on raising you boys. I tried so hard to be the mom you needed. But I had no respect left for your dad. He never found out. And in my broken head, that meant he didn't care, didn't love me, didn't deserve mine, or yours. Here's the truth, though. I did know how important his work was. I listened. I searched his briefcase, his pockets. I heard the way he talked about planes, defense stuff, secret projects. He was doing real work. Big work. And me? I was cheating, lying, dying inside. James, when you were 5, I started volunteering, trying to be helpful, trying to feel whole. But those meetings led to drinks, and drinks led to more running. I couldn't be alone. When I was, the ghosts came back. I'd see Uncle Jack in every shadow. I felt like he was still out there waiting to hurt me again. One night, walking to my car, someone came up behind me. I panicked, swung my purse as hard as I could. It knocked a young girl, broke her jaw. She'd just been heading to her car. That was my wake-up call. Someone at the nonprofit gave me a number, a therapist, Dr. Lauren Harper. She saved my life. We talked through everything. Uncle Jack, James, the lies, the shame. I told her things I'd never told anyone. She said I had trauma, deep stuff I never healed from. She helped me see how I carried that pain everywhere, how I took it out on your dad, how I turned him into the enemy when he was never the problem. She showed me the truth. He was a good man, a loving dad, a loyal husband. He was there always. Games, recitals, dinners, birthdays. Never missed one, not once. And I tried to tear him down. But Lauren didn't just help me see it. She became a friend. She stood by me, showed me what real love looked like. She gave me the push I needed. When I told her I didn't think Daniel was your dad's, she broke down, begged me to tell him, but I couldn't. He didn't believe in therapy, didn't believe trauma was an excuse. He believed in one thing: own what you do. I knew if he found out the truth, it would break him. And it did. I don't know how he figured it out. Maybe Lauren, maybe something else. But one day he left a note. I know. And he was gone. You remember what came after. You stepped up. You kept us going. James, I've never been prouder of you than I was in those weeks, or any day since. 3 days after he left, I called Lauren. She came right away, pulled me out of bed, told me my sons needed me. She dragged me back to life. We started over. As a broken family, but still a family. You carried so much, James. You gave up your life to hold this house together, and your dad, even when he was gone, his spirit stayed with you. You had his strength, his heart, his drive. I tried to find him. I swear I did. I called everyone. No one had seen him. I begged his coworkers for answers. Got nothing. Then one day the FBI showed up, said they were checking in. I told them the truth. I messed up, not him. I begged them to believe me, that he'd never hurt this country. They didn't tell me anything. A few months later, someone at his old job slipped, said the FBI found him in Atlanta. I asked again, but nobody ever confirmed. 2 years later, I hired a private eye, scraped together what little I had. Nothing. So we moved on. And you, James? You became the man of the house. Gave your brothers a shot at a real life, gave up your own. You should have been in college, chasing dreams. Instead, you stayed. You worked. You carried us. And I'll never stop being thankful for that. It was about a month after your San Diego trip when I found out the truth. I knew why you went. Vanessa wasn't it. I saw it from the start. Girl was a hoe. I just hoped when you found out it wouldn't wreck you. But when you came back, you were different. Stronger, more clear-headed. You saw your brothers better. You saw me better. While you were gone, I started feeling off. Food tasted weird. Stomach hurt. I kept losing weight. I finally saw a doc. They said it was cancer. Ovarian. But it had already spread. There were things they could try, but not for long. It was going to take me. Around that same time, I was digging through your dad's desk, looking for insurance stuff, and found the DNA results. Just like your dad years ago. I saw the full truth, and it crushed me. Right then, I got it. Why he never came back. If I were him, I wouldn't have come back either. That broke something in me. I thought about ending it, more than once. But Lauren, Dr. Harper, talked me down, said I still had things to do. So I made a plan. First, get you boys set, safe, moving forward. I pushed Eric and Caleb to go to San Diego State. Then I pushed Daniel to go too, because I knew if he went, you would stay close. You'd look after him. That's who you are. I had 2 reasons. 1, I didn't want you here watching me fall apart. I already broke this family once. I didn't want to let my end be the last thing you saw. 2, I didn't want to go out as some kind of hero. I don't deserve that. I wanted you boys to live your lives, not just survive them. That's what your dad would have wanted. When Eric and Caleb got in, I felt relief. When Daniel relapsed, it gave him a way in. I hated using you to get him there, James, but I believed it was the best shot for both of you. Now, as I lay here, I think about the good I did manage to bring into the world. You, Caleb, Eric, Daniel, my boys, my reason for everything. James, you need to look out for them. Daniel still carries so much pain. Maybe knowing the truth will help him let go. I hope so. There's one last thing I need you to know. Last year, a friend said she saw your dad in San Diego. Just the thought that he was still out there, still breathing, maybe open to reconnecting. It gave me peace. James, find him. I know I don't have time left. But the idea that he might come back, be there for you boys, maybe even find a way to start again, that lets me rest. Tell him my story. I don't expect forgiveness, but he needs to forgive himself. He needs to know he can still do good. I never divorced him, and no matter what DNA says, he's still Daniel's father in every way that matters. He raised him. He loved him. He'll still love him. That FBI guy who came by, he might know where your dad is. Try him. Ask for help. I know it's a lot, but it's worth it. The pain's worse now. Nights are shorter. I know this is how it ends, and I accept that. I loved one man, and I broke him. I built a family on lies. And the truth always shows up sooner or later. Even after he left, your dad still held this family together. He gave you boys love, strength, and purpose. He never deserved the blame, not one bit. James, he's your father. Blood or not. He showed up. He stayed when it counted. Find him. If he asks for forgiveness, give it to him. Let him be your dad again. Let him come home. Let this healing start. I know you want to come home, but don't. Please. Let me go on my own. And you, stay with them. Be the man you've always been. Every day I picture you boys together again with him, with your dad. If you find him, tell him I'm sorry. Tell him I loved him. Do it for me. Love always, Mom. P.S. The other letter is for your father. It's all in there. If you find him, give it to him, please.